Caitlin Clark is officially ruled out for tonight with a groin injury.
Especially with Caitlin taping her leg, Caitlin playing the way.
Everybody, the medical team, everybody knows.
I'm going to tell you, fans are done with Stephanie White. The honeymoon period is over.
I don't believe nothing Stephanie White is saying. I'm very sad that Caitlin Clark is out.
In the NBA, the theory is that the refs try to protect the stars.
Caitlin Clark is officially out with a groin injury, and fans are devastated. She hasn't missed a game since college, but something's clearly been wrong the last few games. Her energy, her shot, her movement, it all pointed to an issue.
Caitlin Clark is officially ruled out for tonight with a groin injury, and she will not play tonight versus the LA Sparks. And I have to tell you, this has ruined my entire day. It will probably ruin my entire weekend. She has the quad injury. Mind you, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old, since she was like 18 in college or something.
And now it's confirmed. The pain was visible, and so is the outrage. As questions mount, one name keeps coming up: Stephanie White.
It was also just her demeanor, her energy. It felt like something was wrong.
The left leg comes from under her, and you can see in her face, if y'all saw the picture in the thumbnail, you can see in her face that she was screaming.
I'm going to tell you, fans are done with Stephanie White. The honeymoon period is over.
People are saying Caitlin Clark's groin injury might have happened when Stephanie White subbed her back in during the final seconds of a game they were already winning. With just 8 seconds left against the Seattle Storm, Clark returned to the floor, and that's when many believe the injury occurred. It didn't make sense to risk her at that moment, and now fans are pointing fingers. That moment may have changed the season.
Did this happen? Because you have people out there saying this injury happened when Stephanie White decided to sub her back in the last 8 seconds of the game versus the Seattle Storm when we was winning.
People are wondering, why the hell was Caitlin Clark in this game, a game that was over? With 16 seconds left against the Storm, they won the game.
Basketball of
but
the season.
some people are saying that Caitlin Clark got injured.
Caitlin Clark was on the bench. A lot of us thought that she was done for the evening, but Coach Stephanie White put her back in, and as you can see with this play here, she gets a handoff from Aaliyah Boston, and then she fumbles the ball a little bit, and she falls to the ground.
There's a clip that shows Caitlin back in the game with 16 seconds left, and people are questioning why she was even out there. The game was already over, and yet she was put in, and shortly after, she was hurt. This one decision by Stephanie White is under major fire, with fans calling it unnecessary and reckless. Many believe this was the breaking point that led to the groin injury.
Coach Stephanie White put her back in, and as you can see with this play here, she gets a handoff from Aaliyah Boston, and then she fumbles the ball a little bit, and she falls to the ground.
At that last minute, it was 16 seconds on the clock on that inbound play, and the ball was thrown into Aaliyah Boston. Boom. And she did a step with the left leg, and boom, the left leg comes from under her.
At the end of the Seattle game, Caitlin was subbed back in, received a handoff, stumbled, and hit the floor. Her face showed pain, and she grabbed her leg while limping off. Fans immediately reacted, asking why she was even brought back into the game. Stephanie White's call is now being labeled as careless, with many blaming her for not protecting their star player.
Clip from that. So at the end of the Seattle Storm game, the Indiana Fever are up by 8 points, and Caitlin Clark was on the bench. A lot of us thought that she was done for the evening, but Coach Stephanie White put her back in, and as you can see with this play here, she gets a handoff from Aaliyah Boston, and then she fumbles the ball a little bit, and she falls to the ground. Now, in real time, a lot of us thought that she actually tripped over Erica Wheeler, but if you slow this down, it's a non-contact jump that kind of happens. As you can see, when she was getting up from that play, she has a look on her face like she is in a lot of pain. Erica Wheeler is helping her up here. She grabs her leg as well, but you can just see she says ow. She's kind of limping to the bench.
In that same final play, Caitlin made a sharp movement, stepped hard with her left leg, and immediately collapsed. The moment was painful to watch. She yelled out, grabbed her groin, and struggled to get up. The crowd noticed. This was clearly when something went wrong. And again, the spotlight is on Stephanie White for making the call that put her in harm's way.
And she did a step with the left leg, and boom, the left leg comes from under her, And you can see in her face, if y'all saw the picture in the thumbnail, you can see in her face that she was screaming. She was like, not necessarily screaming, but yelling, right? And boom, she falls over, get the ball. She's getting up. And as she gets up and Erica Wheeler is checking on her, she ended up grabbing her groin right here. All right. So, yeah, of course, this is what started that groin injury.
The league was hyping up the Commissioner's Cup, but Caitlin Clark's injury has drained the energy from it. Fans aren't even sure she'll play, and tickets are now unsold, something that rarely happens when she's involved. This just shows how big her absence is and why the moment she got hurt under Stephanie White's watch has sparked outrage. Her status is uncertain and people want answers.
So lads, the Commissioner's Cup is in a couple of days, and it was probably going to be one of the most hyped games of the year. And there's a good chance that it's a lot less hyped, considering the fact that it's Tuesday? And I don't know, I don't foresee Caitlin Clark being back. And I honestly don't know if Nafisa Collier is going to come back. Nafisa Collier has been questionable for over a week at this stage. But if you guys didn't see, the WNBA, you still have time, because obviously there are still tickets left. And normally there are very few, if any, tickets left for any of the Caitlin Clark games. If we're being honest, it is normally had been really hard to get tickets for Caitlin Clark games. But it doesn't seem to be as hard this year. And first of all, doesn't seem to be as hard. Second of all, she's injured.
Stephanie White says she only found out about Caitlin Clark's groin injury late last night, but fans aren't buying it. The lack of trust is loud. They've seen her downplay injuries before, and now they believe she's doing it again. Stephanie's comments come across as damage control instead of genuine concern. The timing, the excuse, it all feels too familiar, and fans are calling her out for lying again.
Caitlin Clark, and it's been an awful thing. Caitlin Clark is officially ruled out for tonight with a groin injury, and she will not play tonight versus the LA Sparks. And I have to tell you, this has ruined my entire day. It will probably ruin my entire weekend.
The honeymoon period between Stephanie White and the fans is over. Many believe her decisions, especially keeping Caitlin in while injured, show she's not fit for this role. She failed to provide clear MRI results, failed to explain the injury timeline, and now her coaching is under fire. It's not just the injury, it's the overall lack of leadership and protection that has turned the fan base against her.
Caitlin Clark, your greatest asset, is going to get hurt. The face of your league is going to get hurt if you continue to allow all this physical play to happen. Let me correct. If you keep allowing this dirty play to happen, not physical play. The Marina Mayberry shit was dirty. The eye gouge is dirty. So, I'm going to tell you, fans are done with Stephanie White. The honeymoon period is over. It is over. Stephanie White had no answer on the MRI results. It felt like she was just guessing. I certainly hope one day is enough, but others are speculating weeks.
Stephanie White claimed she didn't know about Caitlin's injury until the night before, but fans are questioning how that's even possible. Clark had her leg taped in multiple games, showed signs of pain, and her performance was clearly off. Yet White insists she had no clue. That lack of awareness, or worse, a cover-up, has fans furious. They feel misled, and they want accountability.
And a lot of fans are wondering how Coach Stephanie White did not know about this until last night, especially if Caitlin had been taping her leg for previous games.
Even with visible signs of injury and her leg wrapped, Caitlin was played heavy minutes. Stephanie White and the medical team saw the condition and still pushed her. Her minutes went from 28 to 34 and then over 30 again, even though she wasn't moving right. That's not just poor management, that's neglect. Fans believe it's Stephanie White's stubbornness that turned a manageable injury into a serious one.
That lets me know the staff, the coach, everybody, the medical team, everybody knows Caitlin's conditions right now. Now, seeing that she was hurt already, right? Seeing that she wasn't 100%, they went from 28 minutes in this game to 34 in the next, 34 in the one after that, and then she played 31 minutes or 30 minutes in that Seattle game. Now, amping up her minutes like that on an injured leg was a terrible decision.
Critics are saying it loud. Stars are supposed to be protected. In the NBA, referees and coaches understand that. But in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark has taken hits with no support, not even from her own coach. Stephanie White never established that boundary. She let games spiral, she let the contact grow, and she didn't step in. Now Clark is hurt, and the blame is circling back to the person who should have protected her most, her coach.
In the NBA, the theory is that the refs try to protect the stars. That's not the case in the WNBA.
Not
why
enough.
not?
Not just her, by the way. Not enough,
Right.
at least in my
Right.
opinion. Well, that
Right.
hopefully that changes. So I just think the league, I think the officiating hasn't caught up with how good the athletes are in the league. That's to me the biggest thing.
The WNBA is being called out for letting the physicality get out of control, and Caitlin Clark may be the biggest victim of it. Constant hand-checking, blindsides like the hit from Marina Mabrey, and no real protection, it's a pattern. Stephanie White may not have publicly attacked the refs in front of cameras, but this injury has sparked a storm around officiating and safety. The bigger concern now is, how many more stars will get hurt before the league takes it seriously? With ratings and revenue tied to Clark, many believe the WNBA was reckless in not protecting its biggest asset.
Did this happen? Because you have people out there saying this injury happened when Stephanie White decided to sub her back in the last 8 seconds of the game versus the Seattle Storm when we was winning. So I don't know. I just know one thing. The WNBA needs to clean up. I believe the physicality and all this hacking and fouling that goes on. She getting blindsided by Marina Mabrey. I think all of this stuff is having a wear and tear and an impact.
The pushovers, eye pokes, and excessive hand checks have built up over time, and the officials failed to stop any of it. In one game, Ryan Howard literally held Caitlin Clark with 2 arms, no whistle. This isn't just tough play, it's unchecked aggression. Fans say if referees had done their job from the start, Clark wouldn't be sidelined with a groin injury now. The absence of discipline created an environment where anything was allowed. And for someone like Caitlin, who draws attention and defenders every night, that's a dangerous setup.
Now, of course, I think that pushover moment, that didn't help, right? The Marina Mabrey moment, I can definitely say that didn't help her quad. And, you know, the eye poke situation, we saw how physical JC Sheldon was on her. And yeah, I think that started to take a toll on her because after this game, where she did pretty good in this game, but after this game, the shooting slump starts, right? She shot awful in this game, this one, and this one. That's 3 games back to back to back where she shot awfully. Right after this game, that was extremely physical on her. But yeah, this game right here just did not help, man.
In the NBA, star players are protected, there are Jordan rules, and referees are trained to stop excessive contact. But in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark is being shoved, hit, and fouled with little to no response. This league has failed to adapt its officiating to the level of talent now on the floor. Stephanie White's frustration reflects what fans already feel. The refs are behind the game. They're letting it turn into chaos. And now the cost is real. Clark is hurt, fans are outraged, and the league's reputation is taking a hit.
All these things with, you know, if the players are jealous or players are mad, players
Right.
said, oh, we were here before her. Is that helping or hurting the league?
Well, it's probably both. I think the officiating in that league is not good, and they really got to improve it. And I think she's been a part of some games where they lost control of the game, and it got.
So wait, I got to interrupt you there. So like in the NBA, the theory is that the refs try to protect the stars. That's not the case in the WNBA.
Not
And why
enough.
not?
Not just her, by the way. Not enough,
Right.
at least in my
Right.
opinion. Well, that
Right.
hopefully that changes. So I just think the league, I think the officiating hasn't caught up with how good the athletes are in the league. That's to me the biggest thing.
The WNBA has been promoting games using injured stars while doing little to protect them when it matters. Caitlin Clark being out isn't just a storyline, it's a crisis. Neutral fans are skipping games because they know she won't play, and it's directly linked to the officiating and how physical the league has become. There's a growing belief that the referees lost control of the games Caitlin played in, and that Stephanie White, despite being the coach, never pushed hard enough to get them reined in. Now it's too late, and the league might lose its brightest star because no one acted in time.
Like, they are promoting the game with two players that have a 50-50 chance of playing, because let's be real with Nafisa Collier. Like, this could be Alyssa Thomas's MVP. Like, we say it's fees, but like injuries kind of halt everything. This could be Alyssa Thomas's MVP. Because let's be honest, like, the Aces aren't good enough for Asia to go and win back-to-back. Stewie, no, not really. John Quell's been out for a while. Sabrina, man, if you guys don't know, like, don't let Caitlin Clark's 3-point percentage let you forget that her big on 1 for 23. Let you forget that, like, Kelsey Plum is something like 3 for 24 in her last couple of games. Sabrina's like 1 for 17. Paige is like 2 for 17. Like, let's not let Caitlin Clark's
Caitlin Clark is officially out. The fans are heartbroken, and they want real answers now. Her recovery must be slow and smart. Rushing her back without protection could end her season or worse. This won't go away on its own. If the league doesn't act, Clark's injury will haunt the WNBA all year. Stars like Caitlin deserve to be protected. The WNBA can't afford another silence or delay. Neutral fans are walking away. The league promoted Clark, now it needs to protect her. Stephanie White is under fire. And until justice is served, the pressure isn't going anywhere.
I don't believe nothing Stephanie White is saying. I'm very sad that Caitlin Clark is out. This is disgusting news. Caitlin Clark, get healthy. We will miss you, and we'll be waiting upon your return.
Stephanie White is not the coach the Fever need. Ooh, there is a lot.
And so if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it.
Everybody, the medical team, everybody knows Caitlin's conditions right now.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe because Caitlin deserves justice and your voice matters.